to say, the beating heart of this rally during Rally Week, the Rally of the Heartlands, the heart of the Rally of the Heartlands is the Paxton Square cottages. Now, this morning I've come across this lovely lady, and thank you very much for putting us up during the rally, putting us up this week. But you're in charge of these cottages, aren't you?
Yes, I manage them, yes.
It's a fascinating place. You know, we drove in here yesterday, and I'd been told about this complex, this cottage complex, but I had no idea about the history. It's a wonderful history. Just tell me how these cottages came about.
They were built in 1849 to 1852 by the South Australian Mining Association to house their workers. So the miners actually lived in these cottages while working up in the mine for the association.
But what's interesting is that the miners came out from England, and a lot of them came out from England, and they looked after their own accommodation. Tell me about the reason why they effectively forced the mining corporation to build these houses for them.
When the miners first came, they dug into the embankment in the creek, and they were called the dugouts. They were free, didn't cost them anything, and they'd tunnel in, and because that's what they did, they mined, so it's easier for them to do.
They felt at home, they felt comfortable in holes in the ground.
So they'd tunnel in 3 or 4 rooms. One would be a kitchen. They'd brick up the front door and the window. That was home. Little chimney at the top, and that's how you could define where a cottage or a dugout was. But conditions in the creek were poor, and there were up to 1,800 people living in what they call Creek Street.
Right. 80 to 100 people?
1,800.
1,800 lived in the creek?
Yeah. Up to 1,800 people lived in the creek.
That's a proper sized town.
And it went all along the creek, so it's just not here.
Right.
But all along the creek.
Right.
Conditions weren't very good, and the people of the town petitioned the mining association to do something. So they surveyed this acre of land, built the cottages, and the miners lived in them with their families. And
do you know what I found remarkable when I checked into my room? And it isn't a room, it's a proper sized cottage. Was the size. It was the size. They were surprised. I expected it to be a little bit cramped, a little bit small rooms. But they're really quite spacious. They must have been quite luxurious at the time.
I think for the time, yes, it would have been something completely different to what they'd known in England.
During the rally, this is the heart of it. You have cars, every room is full with cars, servicing. Really important for you, isn't it, the rally?
Well, that's right. It brings people into the town, it's good for the community, but we're accessible, everything's at hand. The start line is here. Service crews are here or at the back, in the square at the back. So it's just central to everything, and I think it brings such joy to people, and the community as well benefit, and it's just wonderful.
Staggering distance to the pub at the end of the rally as well, which is quite useful. I think it's really, it's a fascinating place. I've travelled a lot around Australia, and I have to say, being able to find something like this has been an absolute joy for me. It's something so different, and I think as well as international visitors, Australian people are discovering the delights of this place, aren't they?
The heritage, it's just wonderful. Cornish mining town, we're a little time capsule of that era, and it's still standing, and these buildings are unique, so
it's a unique place. And listen, thank you very much for looking after us this week, and look forward to seeing you in a few weeks' time.
Yes.
It'll be a slightly different place, a noisier place, I would imagine.